Hey, welcome to Cheaper Jeeper TV. In this week's episode, we're going to go visit somebody who has not one, not two, but three wartime era Jeeps. We're going to learn a little bit about that and go for a spin, so stick around. Hey, welcome to Cheaper Jeeper TV, the show that helps you get the most for your money so that you get the most for your Jeep. If you're a subscriber to my channel, you probably saw the video my first Jeep show and shine. That was a lot of fun to make. It was a lot of fun to be there and meet all those people and see all those Jeeps. And you might remember seeing a few Jeep Willys. Now I say Jeep Willys, but apparently according to Wikipedia it's pronounced Willys. Didn't know that. Anyway, I also learned that there's a member of my local Jeep club that has a few wartime era Jeeps. And he's invited us over to learn a little bit about those. But also, we're going to learn a little bit that might help those of you that were considering the possibility of getting into something like that yourselves. Also, we're going to take a spin, which is something I'm really looking forward to. So, thanks for joining us. Now, let's get over there.
When I first arrived, I thought, that's interesting. Then I said to myself, that is amazing. I certainly enjoyed seeing and was curious about all the different features of this Jeep. And then to my surprise, there was another one. And look at this garage. It's like a museum. Wow, this is overwhelming and way more than I expected. Let's go talk to John and get some more information.
So, number one, this vehicle is a 1952 Canadian M38. It is in the Korean era. When we take a look at the operator compartment, as you can see, it's not meant for anyone over 5'8", 100 and some odd pounds. So here in the operator compartment we have various switches. This is our emergency handbrake. These are our light switches. This is for the convoy light, so when you're traveling at night and you don't want to be seen overhead by an airplane, turn your lights on. This Jeep is a push button start, so there are no keys. So on a cold start, you want to use your choke and your throttle in combination to start it up. Here is your instrument dash, which provides you with all your vehicle essentials. So you got your voltage battery, you got your temperature, you got your speedometer, fuel level, and you got your oil pressure. If you ever needed to know any specific details about your vehicle, this is your data plate. It provides information on vehicle weight, the different controls for forward and reverse, high or low, four-wheel drive, and two. Throughout the compartment we have our levers for four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive, and your transfer case for high and low. You got your clutch, you got your brake, you got your gas. Down here is the switch for your high beam and low beam. We have two fire extinguishers within the Jeep, one at my side here and one on the outer driver's side fender. In here is our glove box, so keep essentials. I keep paper towel, some quick start, and some other essentials like my COVID mask. When we take a look here at the top, this is one of two batteries. The vehicle is a 24-volt system operating on two batteries. So the first of two batteries is in this particular location here, which we will open up and we can take a look inside. Close that up. We take a look at the windshield. The windshield can be either down or we can push it all the way back and quickly just lock it into place. Now, when we take a look at what's on the windshield, here is our rifle mount. And here we have two air actuated windshield wiper motors. They can be operated either by air or manually by hand.
That's amazing that they have a rifle holder built into it.
Yep. And they have other mounts other places for other types of items. So when you look on the passenger side, beside the passenger seat, you'll see an axe and shovel. So in the back here we have radio for communicating with other troops. Around the back we have our spare tire and fuel can.
What's that?
And this particular item right here is a water catcher. Have various different lights around the vehicle. We have reflectors. This is an outlet where you connect your trailer to power the trailer. Come along the front, we have the gas tank where the driver sits on. Not exactly maybe the best place to put it, but that's what they did at the time. Along here we have our blackout lights. So when you're driving at night and you don't want to be seen overhead by an airplane, these lights will turn off and that'll turn on, and then
It's got a shield on it.
Yes. When we take a look underneath the Jeep, first of all we have the skid plate, which is protecting the transfer case, the transmission, and part of the motor.
Yeah, like I'm looking at your front shocks, there's like no rust. It's just beautiful.
And what you'll notice too is that when you look at the Jeep, predominantly I cannot find a single piece that's made out of plastic. Everything is metal. That's how durable and strong they are.
I noticed the grease nipples are all painted red, eh?
Yeah, makes them highly visible so that when you want to do your general maintenance and grease various fittings, easy to locate. So we're looking now under the Jeep. These Jeeps have the leaf springs with shocks as the suspension. Very rough ride, but very rugged and very sturdy. We have the differential in the back. As you can see, the differential cover is painted white. There is a convoy light underneath that shines on it at night so that the vehicle behind you can see the white differential, and yet the lights are not on in the back and the planes overhead cannot see you.
Yeah.
We're going to open up the motor bay and we'll see the heart of the Jeep. So here we have an L134 Go Devil motor. 4-cylinder, puts out approximately 50 horsepower. Maximum safe speed that I've taken it is about 50 miles an hour, give or take. So when we take a look around the motor bay, we have waterproof spark plugs. We have our carburetor, it's not fuel injected. We have our oil bath air filter and our red radiator. Now I did mention that this is a 24 volt system, so this is battery number 2. So between the two batteries it'll power the entire electrical system. So lights, siren, radio, whatever runs on electrical power. But anyways, so we look at the front end of the Jeep. You have your standard traditional front grille with the round headlights. We have our protectors here just to protect the lenses from breaking. Here is the antenna mount for the radio. Depending upon whether it's a Canadian Jeep or an American Jeep, and also different vintages of Jeeps, they had their radio antennas at various locations around the Jeep.
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions. Why do guys like you and all the people that collect these kind of Jeeps do that?
Well, number one, it's a great hobby to occupy your time. They're very simple to work on. Everything is mechanical. There isn't a computer on this Jeep. But the big thing is being able to preserve history and to share it with others. A lot of people, you know what, you can see it in a movie, you can see these Jeeps in books, but how often do you actually get to see them on the road? A nice thing about being in the neighborhood is I have an opportunity to meet up with my neighbors, give the little kids a little ride around the block, take them out for ice cream, and also at various points in the year I either go to car shows, take the Jeep to various events so that they can be shared with other people that otherwise would never be able to see them.
And this is where it all started for the Jeep Wrangler fans, I guess.
Exactly. So yeah, this one is a 1952. The one that's in the garage is a 51. And I do have other military Jeeps ranging from a slack grill to an MB, and I also have a troop carrier.
So if somebody were looking online to buy one in this kind of condition, what kind of asking price do you find that these go for?
If you're looking at the Canadian market, I would probably say around 25,000 or so. It really all depends on the condition of the Jeep, its originality, if someone has maintained it in a 24 volt system versus a 12 volt system. So there are a number of different factors at play that will determine the overall value of the Jeep.
If there was somebody watching this video and they wanted to get into this as a hobby, how can they get into it where it might not cost them as much money?
Well, what I did was I found a Jeep that was within my price range, and I was able to take it and on my own time, don't rush into it, take it apart, clean things, clean parts, and put it back together. Obviously, it will take more time, but it gives you an opportunity to learn more about the vehicle while you are restoring it, rather than buying it already done.
Now, is there a good support community for people who are thinking of doing something like that?
Yes. Number one is there are various groups around Ontario. There are various groups that are online. So it's just as simple as either posting a video, a question, a picture, and within 10 minutes you'll have a number of people offering their assistance and giving you some advice. Okay, let's get this Jeep fired up. As you know, you can see that I have a couple of symbols on the front. The number one item is in the center, and it's named after my father, who was born in 1942. He's still alive, fantastic guy, love him, and I just wanted to pay tribute to him.
Awesome.
So we're going to start it up and get the hood all latched up, and we will hop in for a drive.
So here's a shout out to Jonathan for sharing his Jeeps and his expertise with us. It was a wonderful day. I learned a lot, and Jonathan, it was much appreciated.
Hey, if you find this interesting, don't worry, I've got tons of information coming up in the tip segment that'll let you know about some different groups and some tips that you might want to follow if you want to learn more or possibly get into something like owning a wartime era Jeep.
Now for some cheaper Jeeper tips. Of course, you could do your own search online and look on Craigslist or Kijiji, but I put together a few sites that I thought I'd share, and all the links to these will be in the description section below this video. Here's a forum for Jeep Willys, and if you're comfortable using forums, you know how this would be a great source of information. There's also jeepwillysforsale.com, where you can see by region who's selling their Jeep Willys, and they're at different prices. Then on Facebook, there's the Willys Jeep for Sale and Swap group, and you can see here somebody selling a Jeep Willys pickup truck, and people also sell parts here and old Jeeps, so that's a good one to check out. And then of course there's the Canadian Willys Coast to Coast Parts Exchange for the Canadian viewers, and you can see there's parts, there's transmissions, there's fenders, there's all kinds of things that they sell here. And then of course our very own resident expert and passionate enthusiast Jonathan Toffolo, who's on Facebook, and he was agreeable to my sharing with you his contact information, and the links to all these will be in the description section. And of course it isn't a complete and comprehensive list, but I just thought I'd show you a few things that you'll be able to find if you look for yourself as well. Hope that you find it interesting. Now let's move on to our subscriber tips section. And now for subscribers tips. This week's subscriber tip comes to us through the cheaperjeepertv.com website, and it relates to the 5-pound propane tank carrying bag by Adventure Trail Gear. Hey Cheaper Jeeper TV, it's dangerous to travel with a tank on its side, so it's extremely important to keep the propane tank in a vertical position during transport. Signed, David. Hey David, thank you so much for the very important safety tip indeed. In fact, I'm going to pin your comment to the top of the comment section of the Adventure Trail Gear 5-pound propane tank carrying bag video. And if you have comments that you'd like to share, please feel free to put them in the comments section below, as we may use them in a subsequent video. So thank you very much.
Hey, that's it for this week's episode of Cheaper Jeeper TV. I hope that you found it interesting, and if you did, how about giving the video a thumbs up? And if you haven't subscribed and you like the content of this and some of my other videos, please make sure you do subscribe and click on the alert bell so you'll be notified when our next video is released. Until the next time, I'm Dino for Cheaper Jeeper TV. Be well, stay safe, take care.